Drastically improve your toddler's table manners with these 5 tips. If mealtimes feel stressful and overwhelming, we need to take control of them and get them back on track. Mealtimes are not like something like a sleep regression. A sleep regression is just a phase. Teething, just a phase. You work through it, move on. Mealtimes, they're every day, 3 times a day. We need to get them under control and help our children understand what is acceptable and what's not acceptable. The key factors and how we're going to do this is simple routines and expectations. They are still children. Our expectations need to be age appropriate. Now, we may be talking about an 18-month-old, we may be talking about a 3-year-old, we may be talking about a 5-year-old. You need to set expectations that are appropriate for your child at their current age. Number 1, we are going to sit down together and try to eat as a family. This may not happen for every meal at every time of the day. Maybe breakfast, you are too rushed, and maybe you as a parent don't really enjoy breakfast, but at least dinner. Now, if you're a stay-at-home parent, I would advise trying to do lunch and dinner, but at least let's shoot for dinner. A few reasons we're going to sit down. First of all, I fell into this trap with my toddler of not wanting to waste food, so I would give them a little bit of food, and then if they finished it, I'd get up and get them more, and I'd get them more. So I kept getting up, and I also was kind of teaching them to just keep grabbing more food out of the pantry, which wasn't ideal. I just hated to overfill their plate and then waste. That was my bad, and I quickly learned we got to put this habit to rest and form new ones. So I started working on filling their plate appropriately and sitting down and eating with them. Now, some parents don't even try to eat with their children. They're cleaning or they're doing this or they eat dinner after their children do. I do not recommend this. I feel like dinner is family time. And also it is an opportunity for modeling. If your child is a disaster at the table, who have they been watching? Just other children eating? They need to sit with adults and learn from adults. And that's a lot of how our children learn a lot of things. Have you ever been around one of your children and you scratched your head and then they scratch their head? They watch us all the time and they're modeling what we do. And this is one example of how we eat dinner is how they would eat dinner if they watch and they pay attention and they learn from us. So give them that opportunity to see appropriate behavior by modeling it. My second tip is everyone has their own plate. This goes for plates and cups in our home. I will say one of the reasons that we are sticklers on this is one of our children has allergies. So if I were to eat macaroni and cheese, drink out of my cup, and then share my cup with my child, they would have a reaction because they're allergic to dairy. So part of it is safety, but part of it's just boundaries. And as an adult, do you maybe drink soda or you drink alcoholic beverages that your child obviously cannot drink off you? I really try. My cup always has water in it, but I really try not to let my children drink off me. I really want that respect of it's just my cup and my food when it comes to my plate and my drink. And part of it's germs, part of it's the allergies, part of it's sometimes the drink isn't appropriate for children. And I just think setting a consistency is helpful versus yes, no, sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. And then when it comes to our plates at dinner, part of it has to do with allergies and also just enjoying your own food on your own plate and just boundaries and expectations, to put it simply. My third tip is to, of course, just set those expectations. And this is something you and your spouse need to discuss. What do we expect? And how are we going to handle behavior that is not acceptable? If your, we'll just say 18-month-old is constantly dropping their cup at the table, what are you going to do? I'm not saying this should be a punishment, but are we going to correct them? Are we going to say, oh, no, cup stays on the table? Are we going to take the cup away for 2 minutes and then give it back? Are we going to ignore the behavior entirely and just pick the cup up and set it back on the table without saying a word? That's up to you on how you handle it. How do you want to get the message across to them of like, hey, we don't do this. We don't drop our cup. And maybe you point out that you don't drop your cup. See, mommy's cup's on the table. The point being, what do you expect out of your child? Do you expect your 3-year-old to eat with a fork and a spoon, or are you okay with them eating with their hands? It's all about what you think they're capable of and what you want them to be capable of and what's reasonable. Every single time you sit down for a meal, this is a learning opportunity. And if you have taught your children anything, you will know that repetition is key. The more opportunities you repeat something, the quicker they pick it up. Mealtime is honestly one of the most frequent things we do. Even brushing teeth, you might only do morning and evening, so twice a day for teaching them. But meals, if you're doing 3 a day, this is a frequent opportunity for learning. So repetition on what you are expecting out of them is going to help them to solidify it and learn it. Number 4 is to encourage independence. So as they're getting older and learning skills, we want to learn those fork and spoon skills as well as drinking out of their cup, whether it's an open cup, closed cup, whatever the case be. But the more independent they get with their eating, the more they're going to take pride in it and get excitement out of it. And it can be fun. I know we taught our little one how to do cheers with the cup and we made it a fun thing. And then also the more independent they get with feeding themselves, the more you can actually enjoy your meal, which is always a blessing and nice. When it comes to encouraging independence, I also recommend you be careful. Our little one learned how to use a fork, and they were getting really good at it. They were definitely mastering it. And then for whatever reason, a few days in a row, I helped them spear, say macaroni, we'll just say that. I helped them spear it. And then I helped them again. And then I helped them again. And then they quit using their fork. They basically said, you do it. You do it. And that was a huge mistake that I made where I overstepped as a parent and helped them too much when they already had mastered it. And I took them back a step and I regretted it so much. Obviously, they relearned how to do it. It was no big deal. But in that moment, I was sad that they then wanted me to do the work when they themselves knew how to do it. Finally, my fifth tip is just simply repetition is everything. As I mentioned before, we get so many opportunities to sit down and have a meal together. This is something that they can learn quickly because of that repetition. And just keep working over and over and over again. You are a broken record on some of these things, but they are going to get it. They truly, truly will. A lot of it is work that you have to do as the parent. And a lot of it with raising our children, it's on us. It's not on them. So it's all about what you do and how you repeat it and how you make the most of it every mealtime to help make meals more enjoyable and help your toddler to grow and learn those proper table manners. My recommendation is to face any problems head on. Do not ignore them or think your children are going to outgrow them. You need to teach them. That is how we overcome them and move forward. I will link a resource that I have. It's a free PDF and it is about toddlers and what they can be doing independently. It's sort of like a checklist for what we should be doing with our toddlers each week. It's just friendly reminders. So that'll be in the description, as well as a few articles and other videos that are related to this topic. And if you like information like this, please subscribe to my channel and I hope to see you back here for the next one. Thank you and have a wonderful day.